Okay, so good morning, everybody. Chapter 51. So, chapter 51 is going back. You might think that it's starting a new topic, but it's actually going back to an old topic. What is the topic going back? In other words, we've had a lot of chapters that officially are really by the way, parentheses, if you want to know how to have love and fear of God, this is what you have to do. But now the Alter Rebbe is going back to the topic, which is actually what Tanya is all about. The pasuk on which Tanya is based, which is the pasuk that Moshe Rabbeinu, our leader, Moshe told the nation of Israel, Ki karev elecha hadavar ma'od, b'ficha ubelvavcha la'asosei, that it is very near to you. In other words, it's relevant, it's accessible, you're able to do it, it's easy, if you learn the right tools, obviously, in your mouth, in your heart, and the main word is la'asosei, to do the mitzvahs. In other words, the Alter Rebbe is now going back in these last 3 chapters of Tanya to the whole premise of Tanya, that the main thing is action. The most important thing are the mitzvahs. In chapter 35, the Alter Rebbe spoke about the concept, that's like quite a while ago, right? Spoke about like 15 chapters ago. The Alter Rebbe spoke about the concept of the Shechina being above one's head, you may recall. The Shechina we usually translate into the divine presence, right? In English, the divine presence, right? And therefore, he brings a commentary which explains part of Kabbalah that especially men have to always wear a covering on their head in order to remind them of the Shechina and to respect the Shechina. Women don't need to because we are finely in tune with the presence of the Shechina. The reason that we cover our hair after marriage has got nothing to do with the Shechina. Well, it has, but it's a little more detailed. But in chapter 35, the Alter Rebbe explains that the Shechina, he explains what is Shechina. He says the Shechina is like a flame on top of someone's head, the flame of a candle. The wick of this flame is the body, and the oil is the mitzvahs that you do to keep the flame burning on the wick. So in other words, you have this flame, that's the Shechina above your head, but what keeps the flame going and close to you in your life, in other words, what brings godliness into your life, really are the mitzvahs, the action piece of Torah mitzvahs, right? And the Alter Rebbe then in chapter 35 explained that it's not even Torah study or the love and fear of Hashem, which keeps the Shechina alive as a flame on top of your body, but it is specifically the mitzvahs. And the mitzvahs actually activate and reveal the Shechina. And of course, there's a whole explanation why the mitzvahs as opposed to the neshama. And I think we did briefly, well, we didn't briefly, we did go into it at length many times, that the mitzvahs are actually the will of Hashem. So when you do a mitzvah, you're actually connecting with godliness undiluted. In other words, the will of Hashem never went through a process of tzimtzum, never went through a process of having to come down in a diluted form in this world. You do need your body to be able to do the mitzvahs, which is why the body is the wick, and doing the will of Hashem keeps the flame alive. But this chapter is going to go back to that topic, but this chapter, specifically chapter 51, explains the meaning of what it means to say that the Shechina is present. Because don't we say that Hashem is everywhere? You know, we teach little kids, we say Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem is truly everywhere. Why does it make sense to say that Hashem is more here than there? Or why do we actually say that the Shechina is revealed in certain places? Or why do we say, for example, there are certain examples that we say, oh, you know, in the Beis HaMikdash, in the Holy of Holies, the Shechina was revealed. So so Hashem's more in the Beis HaMikdash, or Hashem is everywhere. Or we say, oh, when there's 10 people learning Torah together, the Shechina comes down. So what does that mean? Is Hashem more over there than other places? What does it mean that we say Hashem is everywhere? So this chapter actually teaches us that yes, Hashem is everywhere, but we will learn how Shechina is actually godliness revealed. So yes, Hashem is everywhere, and this is what we're going to discuss in this parak, this chapter, how it can be that Hashem is everywhere, and how can it be that Hashem is more revealed in some places and less revealed in other places. And to explain this, the Alter Rebbe explains by using an analogy, and the analogy that he uses is the relationship of the body and the soul, the body and the neshama. He uses this, which is also quite a lofty subject in and of itself, to explain how the Shechina, the relationship between the Shechina and God to this world. So, to explain, there is the essence of the soul, and then there is the way the soul reveals itself in the body. Now, the soul fills the body in all different ways. So there are 248 limbs and 365 organs, which correspond to the 613 mitzvahs, positive and negative, right? So the soul our neshama fills all the 248 limbs and 365 organs equally, from the most refined part of the body to the most coarse, lowly part of the body. Which part of the neshama fills the body equally? The essence of the neshama, the root of the neshama, the part that is completely connected to Hashem, right? But we can't say that the body exists more in the head than in the feet. The soul exists more in the head than in the feet. The essence of the soul exists equally in the head and equally in the feet, right? It is equal, but it does have 613 potential differences or types of power and energy which can emerge and become revealed to energize the body and its specific components individually, because our body has different parts to it. There are hands, there are feet, there are eyes, nose, mouth, ears, etc. Right? So there's the soul is equal, the essence of the soul is equal throughout the body, but the specific powers of the soul are revealed differently throughout the body. And how does the soul actually do this? It does this by engaging with the animals, with the animal soul. It does it with engaging with the body, right? Our godly soul comes into our body and gives the body power. The eye doesn't see because the eye has all these mechanisms to see. The nose doesn't smell because there's like little nerve endings. No, the neshama gives the power to the eye to see. The neshama gives a different power to the nose to smell and a different power to the ears to see. It's to hear. They are different energies that come from the neshama. They're specific, more defined energies. But how does it actually do this? How does it come into the body in this way? So although we say, so just to repeat, because it gets a little confusing, although we say that the essence of the soul throughout the body is equal, the revealed powers of the soul, because the essence of the soul isn't revealed, we actually cannot say that the essence of the soul is directly involved in the body, because the neshama is something spiritual. It's not tangible. It's above time and space. But in giving life to the body, it reveals certain types of vitality. So how does it do it? How does the neshama reveal this vitality, this life-giving force? First and primarily in the brain. The neshama reveals its powers in the brain. It begins to reveal. In other words, the brain is the starting point of the revelation of the neshama. And in actual fact, the brain gives two types of life to the body. If you even take away the neshama for a minute and just think about what we've learned about the brain, and we don't have to be doctors to know this, but the brain, first and foremost, gives general life to the entire body. It keeps you alive. If you're brain dead, you're dead, right? It gives a general life, which we call chayus klali, a general life. And then there are different functions which exist within the body to which the brain gives something we call chayus prati, a specific vitality, a specific function, right? So how does the neshama reveal itself in the body? In a general way, by giving life in general to the body. You're alive, and then and starts off by revealing itself in the brain, and also from the brain, a more specific type of life to each individual function of the body, right? So the brain receives its life force first, and all the life that will come to all the parts of the body are also contained in the brain, right? In the brain is the main revelation of the life-giving potential of the neshama. And thereafter, each part of the body receives a light appropriate to its nature. So therefore, the eye is able to see, the ear is able to hear, etc. All the different functions of the body. Each and every limb of the body cannot be disconnected from the brain, and the brain also feels it. If your toe hurts, your brain is telling you that your toe is hurting. So the brain and all the parts of your body are very connected. And if there's a disconnect between your brain and your toe will cease to have life, which is why, unfortunately, sometimes a person can live, have a general life force, but maybe missing a limb, right? Because there's a general life force, and then there's specific detailed functions of the body, which are still extremely connected to the brain, right? Even the heart gets its life from the brain. Now, the heart is actually considered a life source for the body, right? You know, God forbid if someone has something wrong with their heart, they may cease to live, right? So, but the heart gets its life source from the brain. There's messages going on from the brain to the heart, which is why, if you remember way back when in Tanya, and it's one of the fundamental principles in Tanya, we say that it is the nature of the brain to rule the heart. Moyach shalit al halev, mind over heart. That is the nature. That is why we have said previously in Tanya that when we think about it, it's actually easy, because the heart receives all its life from the brain. It's subservient to the brain. So if we just put the correct, we can't control our heart, we can control our mind. So therefore, when we put the correct thoughts into our mind, the brain automatically, the heart automatically follows suit. But in this case, we're saying that even the heart, a very vital organ to the body, receives its life from the brain. So now, by way of analogy, right? So let's take the analogy back to the Shekhinah, right? The essence of Hashem is equal in all worlds and creations. He is equally concealed in all worlds, the essence, right? The essence of the neshama is not revealed in your body. The life-giving force of the neshama is revealed in your body. The essence of Hashem is not revealed in any world. It is concealed within all worlds. The light-giving force to the creations, that's what's revealed in all the different worlds and creations. And the difference between the higher and the lower worlds and the different types of creations is the amount of light that is revealed. When we say that Hashem created the world, right? We mentioned a few prakim ago that it's called a light, or Ein Sof. It's an infinite light. It's not Hashem himself, it's his light. Much as the light of the sun is not the essence of the sun. It's a result of the sun. It comes from the sun, but it's not the sun itself, right? So Hashem fills all the worlds equally and is equally concealed in all the worlds. And in every world, at the same time, there are endless creations which need a specific kind of energy which is different to another creation. So the concealed part of Hashem is equal in all the worlds. light, the light of Hashem, which reaches this world, is not the essence of Hashem, and that's why it's going to be different in all of the creations and all of the worlds. It's going to be revealed less or more. It is an expression of the essence of Hashem. It is an expression of godliness, which gives life to all creations equally, but the light, the revelation, is tailored specifically to each creation and each world. So, the higher worlds, godliness is revealed on a higher level. The lower worlds, less godliness is revealed until we get to our world, where there's very little godliness revealed. And actually, in each world, there are all different types of creations and angels and heavenly creatures that they receive the light of Hashem according to their individual properties. So even in this lowest of lowest worlds, there are differences in revelations, and we say the differences in revelations are through many garments and coverings and concealments of Hashem, and some of the creations may appear to have no light in them whatsoever of Hashem. For example, a stone. When you look at a stone, you don't see godliness, as opposed to human beings who grow, who talk. That's more of godliness revealed. A plant that grows, that's godliness revealed. But a stone that just sits there, that's godliness concealed. You may err and think there's absolutely no light of Hashem in that creation. However, the power of creation, which gives life to everything in this world, yesh me'ayin, something from nothing, right? That's the way Hashem created the world, which is discussed in the next part of Tanya extensively. Something from nothing, right? There was nothing. It wasn't like Hashem took clay and made a world. Hashem created the clay from nothing, right? That exists equally. So that stone exists by the essence of Hashem keeping it alive equally like everything else in the world. But this life-giving force is enclosed in many garments and we don't see it. But what's interesting is that because of the order of creation, which we call Seder Hishtalshelus, the order of creation is really interesting because what we have in this world is the lowest sphera. The lowest attribute of Hashem is called Malchus, right? And our world is called Asiya. So we have all the 10 attributes, the lowest being Malchus. We have the 4 worlds, which is Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya. Asiya is our lowest world. We join Malchus with Asiya, right? And we say that, so that's like the lowest contraction of godliness. And we say that whatever is in this world is a Malchus, the Malchus to Asiya. So like it's really, really the lowest of the low. But here's something interesting about the order of creation is that whatever is the lowest of the low holds everything above it, including the very, very, very lofty essence of Hashem, which comes from even a higher place than Atzilus. So going back to that, we say that yes, the essence of Hashem is equal in the whole entire world, even it's equal and concealed, but the revealed part of Hashem is different. There are specific powers that Hashem gives to each creation, powers, characteristics, attributes, etc. Which brings us back to the beginning of the chapter to explain how it can be. What do we mean when we say doing mitzvahs brings the Shekhinah into this world? Yes, Hashem is everywhere. The essence of Hashem is everywhere, equally and concealed. How do we reveal this essence of Hashem? Through doing mitzvahs, through revealing the Shekhinah. When we reveal the Shekhinah, we are revealing a part of Hashem. And that is different in different places and according to different people. Obviously, the more mitzvahs you do, the more Shekhinah you reveal in your own personal life. It's a way of revealing godliness into your life. And the next two chapters are going to actually go on this thread and explain how actually the main thing is to do the mitzvahs. So yes, we did talk about the fact that the mitzvahs need kavana, which is why we spent many, many, many chapters speaking about the need to develop a love and fear of Hashem and different tools how to reach that and different kinds of love and fear of Hashem. But at the end of the day, and at the end of this part of Tanya, the Alter Rebbe is going to re-emphasize the fact that the main thing is the expression of your godly soul by doing the mitzvahs. That reveals godliness. That is the Shekhinah in this world and more individually in your own life. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, Sina.
That was very great. That was good.
It's a little
I like
technical,
that.
this chapter, actually.
No, but it's okay. It's all right. You know what? The last thing you said is not the question, but it reminds me of when some people say, if you say, you know, here's some candles. Would you like to light candles? It's a big mitzvah. And they say, no, God knows that I know, you know, God knows that God knows. It's like, I said, no, actually, you really have to show him. You could show him by lighting the candle and saying the bracha. You know, so that's an answer to a lot of people who still are pushing away, hesitant. They don't want to get involved. You know, don't get me involved in mitzvahs. I know God knows that I love God. Okay. I'm like going, no, actually, you need to tell him sometimes. The way we tell him is by doing the mitzvah. Just here, take the candle and light it. But anyway, no, that was.
It's like in a relationship, you know, you want your husband to tell you that he loves you. No, you know that he loves you.
Oh, that I like that. Okay, I'm adding that one to the repertoire because I get it a lot. I like that a lot. Okay,
you wanted to buy you gifts? You wanted to buy you gifts? Sure. He loves you. Why do you need that?
Yeah. He loves you. You ought to know that. You don't need the gift. Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm taking that one on. But what I wanted to ask you is when you said the order of creation is what we have in this world, and we have the lowest sphera, which is Asiya, right? This is the world of Asiya that we live in, correct?
It's the lowest world, not sphere. Right? We are the lowest world. And the world was created with the lowest sphera in the order of creation, which is Malchus.
We have the lowest world, which was created by the sphera of Asiya.
No,
is that the correct way to say it?
The name of the lowest world is Asiya. Asiya was created with the lowest sphera attribute, which is Malchus.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to say that over again.
So let's divide. Let me make it practical. There are the 10 attributes, and there are 4 worlds. They join together. Each and every creation in this world was created through the filtering by the 10 attributes. So every world was created through the system of the 10 attributes. So Atzilus was created by using the 10 attributes, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya, our world. Then every creation in this world came to being through the process of Tzimtzum, which contraction of the light of Hashem, which follows this order as well. The light of Hashem has to go through a filter, which is all these 10 attributes. The neshama, in order to come down into this world, into a baby that's born, has to go through the process. That was like the first or second parak in Tanya, has to go through the process of descending straight from Hashem, going through the 4 worlds and the 10 attributes. So, to repeat, this world was created by using the 10 attributes, which is the last of the 10 attributes, Malchus, and we are the lowest of the worlds, Asiya. So this world is Malchus de Asiya, like Malchus of Asiya. It's not Malchus of it, because there's different kinds of Malchus. There's 10 attributes in the loftier worlds, there's 10 attributes in the middle worlds, there's 10 attributes in creations. There's 10 attributes is the tool, is the system that Hashem uses to create everything, including the worlds. And then the worlds, there are 4 of them. So
I understand. So you've got like the different colors. You have these 10 colors, and then you have 4 solid things, and the 10 colors go
Got
down
it.
into these four
Yes.
solid things.
Yes.
And we are the last attribute, which is Malchus, and we are also the lowest world, which is Sia.
Asiya.
So we're
But the
Malchus
wonderful
Sia.
thing is, and that's the point over here, the wonderful thing is that they're like cups, like those babushkas, those toys. One fits into the other. So it doesn't go into this detail over here. Later on in Tanya, it goes into detail, but really the lowest sphere has all the other spheres put into it. The lowest sphere is not the smallest doll. The lowest sphere is the big one that contains all of the above. So therefore, the lowest of the low, our concealed world, where we have to really search for God because we don't see him, actually contains the highest level of Hashem. And obviously it's covered because everything covers it and covers it. And how do we reveal it? By doing mitzvahs. That way we reveal the Shekhinah, the divine presence.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Maybe you don't have time to answer it now. So the Jew is getting this from the neshama. Everything works because it's coming from the brain. What about the non-Jews?
No, I was going to say, why the Jews? Everybody. It's the life-giving force. What gives life to your body is actually your nefesh habahamis.
So that's always the same. Because you were calling it neshama.
Yes, but right. So maybe I should have been more specific. Yes. A Jew has two souls.
Okay.
I have a question. When you
Yeah.
said the soul, like the new soul comes down through the worlds, comes down through the four worlds and the 10 spheres, is it going through 40 levels or is it going to the last world through the 10 spheres?
That's a good question for which I do not have an answer.
Oh.
I don't know.
I have picture things, and especially when you guys are talking about these
No,
visual things.
the main point to remember is that the Alter Rebbe calls it a period of gestation. In other words, the neshama doesn't just jump from Hashem to this world. It has to
Right.
go through a period of gestation in order to come into a body, because you can't remember that the neshama is a chelek Eloka mimal. It's a part of Hashem. Hashem cannot just be in this world without going through concealment of his light. Otherwise, we would not exist. The person wouldn't exist. The baby wouldn't be born. So the neshama has to have to go through some sort of concealment in order to come here. And the Alter Rebbe does not go into details how many levels. I do believe that different people's neshamas go through different periods of gestations, much as different people have different genes and blue eyes and brown eyes and blonde hair and red hair and whatever. Neshamas do also come from different sources and have different potentials to accomplish their mission in this world. And that's what happens before they come down. And then, of course, not to go into here, but the Alter Rebbe mentions in chapter 3 that the parents of said neshama give the neshama its garments, which is a whole other topic. Interesting stuff, huh? But the bottom line is because sometimes we can get sidetracked. Oh, the neshama, dancing up there in Atzilus and whatever. The bottom line is that we are here in this world, in the world of Asiya. And just as Sina said, I could love God in my heart, but not actually do the actions. This Shabbos in Shul, I saw someone like davening with such kavanah, but she wasn't mouthing the words. It wasn't appropriate for me at the time to tell her it was just a matter of ignorance. We have to use our physical bodies to do the mitzvahs, to say the words of davening, to light the Shabbos candles. We have to use the physical objects of this world, and the main thing is to do the mitzvahs. And that is the whole point is to reveal the Shekhinah. And eventually when Mashiach comes, the Shekhinah will be completely revealed. Hashem will be completely revealed in every corner of this world. But that's what it means. The point of this chapter is to answer the question, how could we say that we're revealing the Shekhinah? Isn't Hashem everywhere? Yes. The essence of Hashem is everywhere. Right? But specifically, he's more revealed in certain places more than others. And then if we want to reveal him more, we have a tool. It's called doing mitzvahs. Okay? me stop the recording.